In his online fight with Donald Trump yesterday, Elon Musk's idea of dropping a really big bomb was to reveal that Trump was in the Epstein files. But you knew that, right? I mean, one of the craziest things about the pro-MAGA right and their longtime obsession with the Jeffrey Epstein story is how they took a story that is about Donald Trump and Trump's administration and somehow twisted it to be a story about all of their political enemies. It's a crazy ideological contortion that got created around Epstein. This man, who was, as you see there, videotaped, hanging out and leering at women with Donald Trump. A man who, according to Trump in a 2002 interview, likes beautiful women as much as I do. Many of them are on the younger side. A man who died by suicide in a federal prison in Donald Trump's administration under the aegis of William Barr's Department of Justice. And yet Epstein's reported sex trafficking was seized on by the right wing, spun into a conspiracy theory about the perfidy of liberal politicians like Hillary Clinton and global elites like Bill Gates. Now, it took off partly because Epstein really did have this insane range of contacts with rich and influential people. But spinning Epstein's crimes into a vast left-wing conspiracy always required selective memories and crazy contortions. So much so that when Donald Trump's Department of Justice hyped up its dump of documents on the Epstein case in February, remember that? Even inviting some far-right influencers to the White House to pick up the files in great big binders before anyone else got it. Those influencers were disappointed and angered to find nothing new. Certainly no evidence to back up their outlandish theories about who Epstein consorted with and how he died. And suddenly, the same Trump officials who had once trafficked in Epstein conspiracy theories were flailing to convince the MAGA faithful that the conspiracies were wrong all along.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Thank you. So there's something so perfect about the way Musk dropped his supposed Epstein bomb on Trump yesterday. And it drove the online MAGAs crazy. And it dropped just as Trump's FBI director, Kash Patel, you just saw there, was sitting down for another interview with conspiracy-minded podcaster Joe Rogan, who's talked a lot about Epstein, which led Patel venting about how he can't please the tinfoil hat crowd.
The problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
I gotta say, the vape cloud there is just... We don't have any videos. It's true. You know what we do have, though? Over a decade of shoe leather reporting and digging by real journalists of the hated mainstream media. Folks like Julie Brown, the Miami Herald. Thanks to those people who did the reporting, we know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein court files and in Epstein's address book. We also know about a sweetheart plea deal that Epstein got in 2008. A deal that let him serve just 13 months in jail and preempted a deeper probe into his victims and co-conspirators. That deal was struck by Alex Acosta, the federal prosecutor that Donald Trump named as his Secretary of Labor in 2017. Thanks to reporters, we also know the story of Virginia Giuffre, one of the women Epstein reportedly trafficked to the rich and famous for sex, starting when she was 17. Giuffre, who died by suicide in April at the age of 41, was working at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club when she was groomed and recruited by Epstein's girlfriend and employee, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell, by the way, who Donald Trump has repeatedly wished well, is currently appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court. And according to a 2021 book by journalist Michael Wolff, Trump reportedly considered pardoning Maxwell at the end of his first term. Last year on the campaign trail, Trump appealed to his conspiracy-minded base by vowing to release government documents on a host of topics. But he did balk at just one.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
JFK, check. MLK, check. Epstein, yeah. Well, Even then, you can see Trump wrestling with the contradiction that Elon Musk laid bare yesterday. In the MAGA fever swamps, the Epstein files have this kind of totemic power as the thing that will bring down the entire cabal of evil Democrats and libs and globalists anytime now. They built the Epstein scandal up as a pro-Trump mythology when Donald Trump has been at the center of the Epstein scandal the whole time.